Hey guys, Cloudwolf here, and I'm back in my spells world, and I'll be doing the second part of the spells, sequence, which is creating quick to use spells. So instead of just having to do, so this is just a recap of the last episode. So last time what we did was we worked on making the spell work where you shoot a fireball depending on where the player's facing. It will shoot the fireball, and then this is just going to kill it after a certain amount of time so it doesn't lag your world. And it's activated by doing scoreboard players set at P fireball 2. And it'll shoot the fireball. It's laggy. I think it's from Minecraft, one of the update lag issues, but we can work around it. It'll work eventually. So now we're going to be doing part 2, which is creating the quick and easy to use spells. So there's a bunch of commands set up, and I'm just going to go through them kind of as I go. I'll just explain what they are and what they do and how you can change them and what you need to do to make it your spell if you don't want to use Fireball. Most of the spells are all the same. You're going to need this facing, which is I showed in the last episode, and and other than that, you're just going to need this thing that I'm showing right now. This is essential as well, but this part over here where it actually does the spell is not really it's not the same for every spell. You can make it do whatever you want. You can make it summon a creeper at the player and blow themselves up. Yeah, so I'm going to be showing that. So first off, what you're going to want to do is you're going to get a repeating command block, place it down, and you're going to need this command. So this is the first command, and what it is, it says it's scoreboard player set at a type equals item fireball 1. So you're setting their score fireball to 1, and this is just this last code is specifying that that the item is named fireball. So this is just, you can change the name here to whatever you need. You can make this any name you want in the notepad in the link that I'll have in the description. It'll have all these commands. It'll be to a page that has a link to all of them, and instead of having fireball and stuff like that, I'll have like brackets like that and then name like that. So it's a little bit more useful for other things, like if you're making a different kind of spell than fireball. So point being, this is setting their fireball. You can set their score, you can set the item to any scoreboard you want. Just make sure that that scoreboard doesn't execute at items, but this just kind of helps reduce the amount of scoreboards you have to do. So anyway, so you're going to make it always active. So then you're going to pull out another command block, and you're going to need this next command. So there's a lot of commands, as you can see, but in the end it's just going to become repetitive once you do it multiple times. So you're going to hit done. So you're going to want to do scoreboard objectives add fireball use. So I like to use the term use for all of my commands where all of my spells. That way I can specify this one. One of them is for using the spell, which is fireball, and the other one is use, where you're using the item, and then there's a third one called hold, and we'll get to that later. So you make it a dummy, and then this command is executing at an item with a score of fireball or whatever scoreboard you're using. And this one is setting the nearest player to that item in a radius of 2 with fireball hold, which fireball hold is not necessary if you're single player. You don't need to have the hold if you're doing single player. So I don't even need this. I can just take this out. But I'm going to keep it there anyway, because I'll just to show you if you're doing multiplayer. And then it's setting their fireball use to 2. Then you're going to put another command block. This third command is going to execute at a player with fireball use. So once the item gives you a score of fireball use, it's going to kill an item that has a score of fireball. So the item is just going to set your score of fireball use. That's all these three do. It specifies add an item, and then the item sets your score, and then you kill the item. Then for the last command, and sorry if I sniffle a couple times, I'm kind of sick, but that is not a problem for me. I can still do this. So this is the last one, which is scoreboard add at e type equals item time 1. So you're going to need to make a new scoreboard. And call it time, call it whatever you want. Time already exists. We're good. Time already exists because we're using time on this as well. So that's good. And this is going to add time to the item, just in case the item, say, doesn't set the player's score. Or, well, this is just in case the item is not correct. It's complicated. But that's going to kill the item just in case something happens, like, say, you're flying and stuff like that. I just like to have it. You could probably work without it, but I just like to have that. And then this last one, which kills the items with a score of time and equals to 1. That way they disappear even faster. So then, apart from this stack, you're going to need a second stack. I don't know, you could probably stack them on the same stack, but I just like to have separate stacks. And you're going to have, this one only has 3 commands, so you're going to remove people with fireball use of 1, and remove 1 fireball use. And what that's going to do is going to decrement their fireball score so that it only happens for 2 ticks. They'll only have fireball score for 2 ticks, which makes it extra fast. Then you're going to set players with fireball use of 1 and mana of 300 to fireball 3. So I'm going to take out the mana of 300. We're not doing that in this episode. So it's just going to set anybody with fireball use to fireball 3. And I believe this fireball doesn't need 3. This one can be 2 because we only need 2. The last one is /give, and this is just a give command. It gives anybody with fireball use equal to 1 a die named fireball, and it's gonna say negative 300 MP, but you can I'm just gonna leave the lower blank for now. Okay, so that is all the commands we need. So scoreboard player set at p fireball use 2. There we go. So I shot the fireball. Right now it's not. There we go. Okay, so right now it's not technically going to work because I need to add in this other thing, but if you don't want to use, if you're in single player, you remove fireball hold and it will work just fine. But I'm going to add these 2 commands, which one of them is going to be this one right here, which sets players a fireball hold. So anybody holding an item named fireball sets the fireball hold to 2. And the last command is going to remove their fireball by 1. That way it will go away when you're not holding it. So then you're going to scoreboard play objectives add fireball hold dummy. So you could see when I hold it, I have 1, and when I don't have anything. So now it will shoot the fireball just like so, and it's actually moving a lot faster than you think. And I can just spam it if I want. It has to be kind of accurate because I'm not using that many facing scoreboards. If I used like 16, that'd be like super good. You could like spray and always hit them in the right way. If you used even more, it'd be even more accurate. It just changes the accuracy at range pretty much. The more you use, the more accurate it is at range. And there you have it. So that's what I'll be going over. That's all I wanted to go over in this episode today, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.